Welcome. Welcome to your yoga practice. This is a foundational flow that will talk through some of the poses that are often found in a vinyasa flow yoga class. And we'll also use blocks. You can see that I have 2 blocks here, and talk about like how to actually use the blocks, not just grab your block and good luck. So if you have 2 blocks, definitely grab them. If you don't have 2 blocks, that's okay. We can make it work without the blocks. So let's get started. If you have a block or a bolster or a blanket, let's start today by sitting on the block. So you've got a couple choices in how to sit. As you can see right now, I'm sitting on my heels, and I'm going to slip my block underneath my butt and put my butt on the block. And that gives a little more space for my knees. It takes some pressure off my feet and gives my low back a little bit more support. You could be here, or you could also sit on your block. Just going to turn it so it's a little bit wider, and then turn this into a cross-legged seat. So choose one of those postures, please. Get yourself set up, and you could even sit with your back against a wall if this is not feeling very sturdy for you. So in the yoga practice, one of the main tenets of our practice is that we find effort and ease in our postures. So of course, if this is new, there's effort right away because you're learning something new. And around the mental effort, the physical effort of the poses, ask yourself often, where can I relax? That's the ease, the effort and the ease. So let's start with taking our hands and placing the palms right on top of the thighs. So whether you're sitting with your shins down or you're sitting cross-legged, hands on the thighs, soft bend in the elbow. And then shift a little forward and back with the torso and see if you can kind of find a real true balance with spine long, so your head is stacked right on top of your pelvis. Some of us will have a tendency to lean forward or back, and let's see if we can get out of habits and find some new space today. So let your shoulders relax. Take a couple breaths, maybe big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Settling into this moment. And then from here, let your breath begin to move in and out through your nose, pretty much for the rest of our time together. And if you feel like you need to change your way of breathing at any time, go ahead. And then see if you can come back to even, unrushed inhales and exhales through the nose. Notice if there's any urge to fidget. And then see if you can come back to relaxing. And then let's inhale, send your arms up and overhead. You can kind of sweep them out and wide, look up. Make a prayer with the hands and then breathe out the nose, take your prayer to your heart. Let's do this 3 more times with breath. So inhale, sweep wide up, you can look up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, don't rush it. Breathe in and breathe out. Take your right hand over to the right. Lean to the right. If the ground is far away, this is where you could take another block or a book or something under your hand and take your left arm over your left ear. And then see if you can move your shoulders away from your ears. You might find that you can walk the right hand a little further. As you stretch over to your left, let your left sit bone get heavier. So left butt, left arm reach in opposite directions. Take another big inhale, look up maybe underneath the left bicep. And then let the left hand come near the right hand so they could touch down onto the block or the book. Let your head drop, chin into your throat. Get a stretch across the upper back, shoulder blades, and a little twist for the torso. Keep your head hanging heavy and then walk your hands in front of you. So just kind of tiptoe your hands and then walk your hands forward so you can lay your torso forward, drop your head. As you inhale, lift your head first. Press your hands down, sit up. Climb your hands back on top of your thighs. One time, inhale, sweep the arms out and up, look up. Prayer to heart as you exhale. Take your left hand over to the left. Take your right arm over that way too. So right arm stretches over the right ear, side bend. Adjust the placement of that left hand or block, and then feel yourself turn open a little bit toward the sky. Right sit bone roots down. Right arm and fingertips stretch away from the right side of your seat. You can look up if you want to. Take an inhale breath. And then exhale, look at your left hand. Take your right hand near your left hand. Prop yourself up or even come to fingertips so you give yourself a little more space. Drop your head. How's your breathing going? See if you can come back to intentional breathing in and out through the nose. And then one at a time, walk your hands forward. Walk your chest forward. Lay your head down, any amount. Breathe in. See if you can fill the back of your body with breath. And breathe out. Inhale, lift your head. And then sit yourself all the way up. Let's meet on hands and knees. So you can set your blocks off to the side now. And come onto all fours. So when you come onto your hands and your knees, check out the alignment here. You want a long arm bone. Shoulder, don't let it pass that crease that's happening in your wrist. And then your hips are just about stacked over your knees. Rock a little bit forward and back here. And when you rock forward, claw the mat with your fingertips. And then as you rock back, just notice if you can widen the tops of your feet a little bit. So you spread through your toesies and press your toenails down into your mat. Pause again, finding that nice stack of shoulders right over the crease of the wrists. And then as you inhale, lift your tailbone. So lift your sit bones in your butt. Drop your belly and then look forward. From here, squeeze your shoulder blades a little bit. This is cow pose. And as you exhale, let's reverse that. So start to draw your tail underneath you like you are a naughty dog and you're putting your tail between your legs. And then arch your back so the back of your heart lifts. Draw your chin right into your throat. Maybe you can look at your belly. Inhale again, let your sit bones lift. This time lift your tail like you're going to wag your tail, drop your belly. Let your collarbones widen, throat opens. And then exhale, draw your tail underneath you. Feel the spine kind of unravel as you lift the back of the heart and then press through your hands. Let's do this with breath. So inhale, cow pose, belly drops, heart lifts, look forward. Exhale, cat pose, arch your spine. And really press the ground with your hands, but also the tops of your feet, chin into throat. One more time, breathe in, look forward. And breathe out, arch your spine. Tuck your toes behind you and start to sit your seat toward your heels. You might feel a big stretch in your feet right away, no problem. And then grab your blocks if you have them. Put your blocks right underneath your hands so you can come back to your hands and your knees. From here, step your left foot outside your left hand and take a twist, reaching your left arm to the sky. So your right hand stays on the block, left arm reaches up. Your back toes can be tucked, or you could keep the top of the back foot on the ground. Let's take a big circle with the left arm, just kind of rinsing out through the shoulder. Take that in the other direction. And then look down and see where your block is. Remove your block and heel toe your left foot right to where your block was. So now your left knee and your left ankle are more or less in the same line. You can press your left hand into your left thigh to help you lift your torso and reach your arms up. Lunge. Feel yourself dropping the pelvis forward and down. Left knee bends. Keeping anchored through the top of your back foot, drop the shoulders. How's your breathing? Always coming to the breath in the practice, coming back to the breath again and again. Sometimes I have to do it 100 times. To bring your hands down, find your block. So you have a block in each hand, and then start to shift your hips backwards and lengthen your front leg. You might find that you want to kind of wiggle your left heel forward a bit. That's fine. And then feel the left thigh bone and let it plug into the left hip. So you're kind of zipping up the left leg into the pelvis. Lengthen your spine. Breathe in. And then as you exhale, lead with your heart and bow forward. So you might not go so far, and that's fine. Big stretch on the back of the left leg. And then as you lift your torso up, put your left foot back on the ground as you bend your left knee. Lunge, lift your arms and your torso up. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to blocks, shift your hips back. This one's called half split. Same thing we just did. Let's move through these. Breathe in, lunge, arms up. Breathe out, half split, long left leg, triple L. One more time, breathe in, reach up. You might look up this time. Breathe out, hands to blocks, shift your hips back, bow your head. This time, step into your left foot again. Take your blocks off to the sides, bring your left knee next to your right, and then widen your knees wider than your hips. Bring your big toes to touch behind you. Sink your butt back to your heels for child's pose. If it's accessible to you, then go ahead and let your forehead come all the way down to the mat. If the ground feels far away, take your block and place your forehead on your block. You can stretch your arms forward, but let your shoulders stay away from your ears. Smooth breath in and out the nose. And what the breath does, well, many things, but a few things that are kind of simple is that the breath warms the body. The breath creates one thing for the mind to focus on. So as the chatter comes in of this is hard, this is weird, forget that. Just drop that chatter and come back to inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. And then let's rise back up. Find a block or a book in each hand. Bring your knees back underneath your pelvis so you get rid of that wide stance. And step your right foot outside your right block. We'll start with a twist. So you can reach your right arm to the sky. Keep pressing down through your left hand. Imagine your collarbones could widen away from each other. You could look up. Just make sure all of the movements you choose today don't shorten your breath. So if looking up feels kind of tight in your throat, then you can look over to the right, or you could look down. Take one more big breath in, and then breathe out, look down, heel toe your right foot where your block was. Move your block off to the side. Press the right hand on top of the right thigh to help you lift your torso up, and then take both arms up. And then if you need to adjust anything once you get there, do that. Feel like there's a weight hanging from your tailbone. So you have a neutral pelvis, and then the spine has space to grow tall, tall, tall. Shoulders relaxed. Breathe in. Breathe out. Full breath in. And full breath out. Take a block under each hand, and we'll take half split pose on the second side. So start to shift your hips back. You can heel toe your right foot forward. Well, it's not really a heel toe, is it? Because the toe is not touching the ground. So you can heel, wiggle your front foot forward, flex your right foot. Flex means the toes move toward the shin. Lengthen the spine, so lift up a little bit. Look forward, big breath. As you breathe out, bow. Breathe through the nose as you exhale. Notice if the jaw feels tight and see if you can unclench. Okay, let's flow in and out of these two shapes. So lift your head, put your right foot back on the ground. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your arms up. Low lunge. As you exhale, take your hands back to your blocks or the ground. Shift your hips back, flex your front foot. Half split. Inhale. Exhale. Flowing with your breath. One more time. Breathe in. And breathe out. Rock forward, breathe in. And move your blocks off to the sides. Press your hands down so you can put your right knee back next to your left, and we'll come into downward dog from here. So from your hands and knees position, walk your hands forward just a little bit, maybe 3 inches, and then tuck your toes behind you and pick your knees up off the mat. So from here, don't move anything else, just lift your butt high. Lift your butt, drop your head. So you can have a bend in your knees. Lengthen through your arms. Feel your pointer finger and thumb really press into your mat. And then let your shoulders move away from your ears. So you give space for the neck. Imagine a triangle, and your sit bones, your butt bones, are the apex of the triangle. Tailbone and sit bones are reaching up high, so your spine is nice and long. Your heels do not have to touch the ground. In fact, for some of us, it's better if they don't. So we keep a lot of space in the lower back. Take another full breath in and full breath out. As you inhale, shift forward. So lift your eyes forward just a little bit, shoulders over wrists, bring your knees down to the mat. Come into a child's pose, hips come to your heels. As you inhale, come right into cow pose. So come onto hands and knees, drop the belly, lift the heart. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Hands step forward slightly, tuck the toes, lift the hips high. So this will be our flow. Take another full breath in here. Sit bones high. Stay for your exhale. Inhale, rock forward, shoulders glide toward right above the wrist, and then drop the knees. It's okay to keep the knees a little more narrow. Exhale, sink your hips to your heels, child's pose. Inhale, cow pose. You might have to slide your hands back a touch as you drop the belly, lift the sit bones. And then exhale, hands forward a touch, downward facing dog. Can we do it one more time with our breath? So stay here in down dog, full breath in and full breath out. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe it out. Stay here, full breath in and full breath out. Okay, let's change it up a little bit. Slowly begin to walk your hands toward your feet. So your hands will walk back toward your feet. You could come onto fingertips to help you find your way, and then press your hands into your shins. Take a halfway lift. Breathe in. So hands into shins, lift your torso up. It's a flat back. Imagine I could set a teacup on your back and it wouldn't fall over. And then squeeze your shoulder blades together a little bit. Feel the low belly lift. What will that do? It will help support the low back so you engage deep core muscles. Notice if you're holding your breath. On your next exhale, bend your knees and then bow, drop your head, release your hands. Let's try this again a few times with breaths. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, shoulders away from ears. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow forward. This time, keep your knees super bent and roll up to stand like you're dangling your arms. Drop your head, rolling up. You can feel the bones of the spine maybe. Let your head stack on top of your body. And then we'll arrive together in mountain pose. You can stay where you are on your mat. I'm just shifting so you can see me better. For mountain pose, your feet are underneath your hips. You're standing comfortably, toes point forward. Give your shoulders a couple rolls. Get out your wiggles, and then let your palms face forward. So your thumbs turn slightly out. Relax your shoulders. Inhale, take your arms up. Upward salute. And then exhale, take your hands to your heart. Let's do that again. Inhale, arms up. Can look up. And then exhale, hands to your heart. Let's take tree pose. So bring your right knee in toward your chest. So bend the right knee, stand on the left foot. Find your balance. You could also use a wall, put your hand on the wall to help you. Let's open the right knee to the right, and then use your hand to help you put your right foot anywhere on your left leg. And then you can take your hands to your hips today. Let your tailbone get heavy. Imagine your tailbone points down toward your inner left ankle. Let your shoulders relax. Take another full breath in and another full breath out. Release your right foot to the ground. Shake it out, shake it out. And of course, we've got to do the other side. So let's take arms up, breathe in. Prayer to heart as you breathe out. Step on your right foot, lift your left. Left knee comes in. Flex your left foot. Remember, that means the left toes draw toward the shin. Now open your left knee to the left, and you can use your left hand to help you place your foot on your leg. Hands to hips again. This might help us feel a little bit more stable. See if you can stand up nice and tall. And then remember that thing I mentioned, finding effort. That's the balance, that's the physical, muscular energy, but then also can you find the ease? Relax the jaw, relax the throat and the shoulders. Whoa. Take one more breath in. And then breathe out. Release your left foot down. Give yourself a little shake. Let's take a squat. I'm going to use 2 blocks for this. You can watch first and decide what you need. Maybe you need 1, maybe you need none. For squat pose, let's take feet wider than our hips, so wider than mountain pose stance. Turn the toes out, bend the knees, and you can sit on your blocks. You can take your hands to your heart, so you get a nice big opening for the inner thighs, creating space for the pelvis. Notice if you're rounding. If you feel like you're rounding, then grab something taller to sit on here. Hands can come to heart, just as this reminder to slow down, to be intentional about our breathing and about our awareness. We'll stay for 2 more breaths. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. In through the nose and out through the nose. Release your hands. Let's get rid of the blocks and then we'll come to sit. So you could bring your hands to the ground, lift your butt up. Actually, you're going to keep 1 block with you. So come on down and then lie down. Just make sure you can reach your block. We'll set up for a supported bridge pose. So look up here if this is new for you. Feet are on the ground, toes point forward. Your heels are in front of your sit bones, more or less. You have that same stance like mountain pose, comfortable distance between the feet. Pressing the feet down, lift the hips. You'll slide your block underneath the very base of your spine. So not in your lower back, but below that. It's between your butt and your lower back. I have my block on the medium setting, so you could roll up a towel, you could grab a bolster, or if you have a block, you can try the medium setting or the low setting. And then once you've got your prop set up, relax your arms by your sides, turn your palms to face the sky. Wiggle your shoulder blades a little bit toward each other behind your heart and breathe. Bridge pose. So this pose can be done without a prop as well, without a block or support underneath you, which makes it a little bit more active. We're using this as part of our cool down. So we're keeping the prop there so that we can find more ease. In this posture today, I guess a little bit more ease than effort. Because it's true, in some of our other postures, we find more effort than ease. But the query is, can we find a little bit of both with whatever we're doing? Let's stay for 2 more breaths. From here, press your feet down just enough so you can lift up your prop and bring your butt back down to the ground. You can widen your arms like a T and windshield wiper your knees and shins right to left. So you sway your knees and shins left and right. And if it feels like you want to stay over to one side, take a twist and breathe, you're welcome to do that. Notice if you've gotten distracted. Sometimes once we come onto the ground, I know my mind seems to get busier. And then let's take a happy baby. So coming to neutral spine, draw your knees in toward your chest and then widen your knees. So your knees are near your side ribs, or maybe not even close, but they're wider like a happy baby or like a child's pose rather. And then lift your feet up. So the bottoms of your feet open up to the sky. So knees are bent, feet shine up to the sky. From here, take your hands outside your knees. Maybe you grab onto the outer thighs, or you can climb your hands to your outer shins, but don't lift your head off your mat, please. Keep your shoulders and your head relaxed. Hands can come again to the outer thighs, the outer knees, or the outer shins. And you can give a gentle tug to the legs, so the knees are being gently encouraged toward the earth. Relax your face. And then one at a time, bend your right knee, release the shin, put your foot on the ground, put your left foot on the ground. And let's lengthen the legs one at a time. Stretch one leg down the mat and then the other. And we'll come into our resting pose. So if there's any last little wiggles, or you're cold and you want to put your socks on or get a blanket, go ahead and do that. Let your feet widen a little bit wider than your hips. If it's okay, let your toes flop out slightly so all the muscles in the legs actually release. And then again, lengthening the arms, palms face the sky, a little scoot of the shoulder blades together behind the heart. If you wear glasses, why don't you go ahead and take them off? It's just another signal for your body to turn on rest and digest mode. And in Shavasana, this resting pose, let's stay for 5 breaths. Completely letting go of effort here. The next time you naturally breathe in, let your breath come in a little bit bigger, and then hold your breath when you're nice and full. See if you can sip in just a little bit more air, and then open your mouth, exhale. Wiggle your fingers a little bit, wiggle your toes. One at a time, bend your knees, put your feet on the ground. And then roll over onto your side. Doesn't matter which side. Pause for a moment here. Let your body feel heavy. And then press yourself up to find a seat. And if sitting on a block felt supportive to you, just like when we started, you can go ahead and sit on your block. Bring your hands on top of your thighs. Let your spine stack so your head is again on top of your pelvis. You're sitting up nice and tall. And of course, good posture does so many things actually for our mind and our emotions, but it also simply allows us to breathe more fully. Let's take the hands to the heart center, and I'll chant the sound of Om one time. You're welcome to listen or join in. This sound vibration that it causes within our bodies is really, really soothing and grounding for our nervous system. So let's take a full breath in through the nose and then an open mouth exhale. Now we'll breathe in and then we'll chant. You can bow your mind in toward your heart. Thank you for showing up to your practice. Thank you for showing up to something that might be new. And how about you say thank you to you? It's good to thank ourselves. I hope you enjoyed this practice. I hope that you're feeling grounded and stable as you move into the rest of your day. If you're interested in learning more about fine-tuning the poses or the practices, all of the practices of yoga, because there are so many, comment below. Let me know what it is that you would like to see, and I would love to offer that. I have more videos like these with longer explanations of some of the poses and deeper dives into different facets of the practice as part of my membership. So if you liked this video, you might like to give that a try. I will see you here, there, anywhere. Thank you.